What's our favorite segment of the week? That is Storm Team Student of the Week. With me is Isaac Starr. Isaac, I hope we make you a star today. How you doing today, man?
Good.
You excited to be here?
Yeah.
What's your favorite sport? I've heard a couple things, but you got to tell us what it is.
Martial arts.
Martial arts. And I hear, what kind of belt are you?
Yellow.
Yellow belt. Maybe one day you'll be a black belt, right? You already look like a karate kid to me. But I bet some of your fellow friends over at Cherokee Elementary are excited to see you on here today. But that is where you go to school, correct?
Yeah.
And what grade are you in?
Third.
Third grade. And who's your teacher?
Mr. Owen.
And would you like to give any shout outs?
To my mom and Aunt Ansley.
I know Ansley's excited to have you here. She actually is the one that recommended me for you to come in here today. But either way, we're going to be talking a little bit about weather today. And I know your favorite subject in school is math, correct? And math plays a lot of important roles in weather. But we're going to be talking more about warm fronts today. Last week we talked about cold fronts. This week we're talking about warm fronts. And what does warm air do, Isaac?
Rises.
It rises, and cold air does what?
Sinks.
So typically when we see a warm front, yes, the warm air, it starts to move in, right? And then that cold, dense air starts to sink, and that warm air starts to rise. And you start to see a gradually warm front lift. And behind that warm front, what kind of winds do we typically see?
South winds.
We typically see south winds, right? And with a cold front, we typically see northerly winds. But either way, with a warm front, we typically see temperatures start to warm up, right? And which can cause that, once that warm air rises, that cold air sinks, that can cause a temperature inversion, which means what?
The mountains are hotter than the Tri-Cities.
That is correct, Isaac. Right on the money. So when we see warm fronts, we see a lot of this, especially in the wintertime. Once that warm front lifts, sometimes we can see temperatures in the higher elevations warmer than at the surface, because once again, key component in weather, warm air rises and cold air sinks. So once that warm front moves through the region, sometimes even the higher elevations can be warmer than the lower elevations. But also, it can also aid into what? Winter precip, and that is what again, Isaac?
Snow.
Yeah, sometimes we can see snow, and then sometimes warm fronts can also aid in elevated thunderstorms. So warm fronts, cold fronts, those are the two basic things in weather that we see throughout the entire country and throughout the world in general. But either way, we're getting into wintertime, and we're likely going to see more warm fronts as we head throughout most of the winter. But Isaac, do you have any questions for me?
No.
Step off real quick. I know you're into Kung Fu and karate, right? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do the karate kick and then say back to you. You ready? So 1, 2, 3. Back to you.
Back to you.
Okay, Jared needs some work.
He does.
Yes, Isaac did so much better. Sorry, Jared. If you have a child who would like to be our Storm Team Student of the Week, log on to WJHL.com, fill out an entry form.
Storm Team Students of the Week must be in grades K through 5th grade and attend a school with